Coming to you from Las Vegas. This is known as Warzone Live, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. East Coast time. Great to be with you. All kinds of things happening. This is the mainstream media, not the mainstream media, and I am the biggest MAGA mouth in the world.
On the cutting edge of things on your show, whether it's medical, political, you name it, you're on top of it. So just great to hear that. Great to hear that.
So wonderful to be with you again, Wayne. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be with you tonight.
It's great to see you, Wayne. How you been?
Anytime, Wayne. Great to see you.
Hey, Wayne. Great to see you, brother.
Hey, Wayne. Good to be with you.
Wayne, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Lots going on.
You're doing great, Wayne. Glad to be here.
The root's on fire. Welcome to my show, Warzone Live. Monday through Friday, official podcast, The Gateway Pundit, from 6 to 8 p.m. East Coast time, 3 to 5 p.m. West Coast time every day. This is the Wayne-stream media. No more mainstream media allowed in. Only Wayne-stream media, meaning raw truth and in-your-face mother trucker information. As many of you know, I'm an idea man. I don't just criticize like 99% of TV and radio hosts. I contribute with doable solutions. The American people don't like it. I know. I speak to them.
Warning! The root's on fire! You're about to experience the most high-octane, pedal-to-the-metal controversial show of your life. Please buckle up and hold on tightly. This station is not responsible for injuries. This is Wayne Allyn Root, raw and unfiltered, with America's favorite conservative rock star. Direct from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. What time is it? It's time for war! Here's your host, 100% raw truth, 100% American made, the warrior, Wayne Allyn Root.
All right, Wayne Allyn Root, the root is on fire, trying to get ready in a rush here. And I am ready, and I wrote a opening commentary for today's show. I want you to hear it, but more importantly, I want President Trump to hear it, so I will send this directly to President Trump's desk in the morning when this comes out at the Gateway Pundit and at root4america.com. I think it's important that Trump hears it. It is titled, Why the Save America Act Has Become a Scam to Fool President Trump. Stop fighting for it for now. It's a Trojan horse. Here is the only solution for the midterms. So no one in all of America wants voter ID, and I gotta silence my phone because I'm realizing I didn't. It's gonna ding throughout this show if I don't. People love in the middle of my commentaries to go, "Get him, Wayne! Great job, Wayne!" Next thing you know, it's ding, 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 right in the middle of the show. So no one in all of America wants voter ID, proof of citizenship, an end to mail-in ballots, and paper ballots replacing machine voting more than me. I fought loud and hard for the Save America Act. I fought for this bill like a quartered Wolverine. To me, it was the only way to save the midterms. But my fight for the Save Act was a year ago and many months ago, not now. Now it's $1 short and a day late. Passing it now would be a scam. Here's why. First, this was the easiest bill to pass in the history of Congress. Everyone is for it. Republican voters, Democrat voters, independent voters, white voters, black voters, Latino voters, literally everyone. Yet with the GOP controlling both houses of Congress and knowing Democrats rig and cheat like the rest of us breathe air, the GOP Senate refused to pass it. What a disgrace. The holdout GOP senators are now exposed as frauds, either playing for the Democrats or the deep state or bribed or blackmailed by China and the CCP. But many Republicans, conservatives, and MAGA patriots are still pushing hard for the Senate to finally come to their senses and pass the SAVE Act. And I don't blame them, right? It looks fantastic. They think they can embarrass, humiliate, or shame the holdouts into suspending the filibuster and passing the SAVE Act at the last minute. Here's the problem. Here's why this is a scam, a Trojan horse, a mirage, a WMD, a weapon of mass distraction. If the Save America Act passed a year ago or 9 months ago or even 6 months ago, it would have been a godsend. Yes, it would have saved the midterms. But now it's too late because the day after it passes, Democrat super lawyer Mark Elias and his evil band of scumbag communist traitor lawyers will file a lawsuit, and it will be tied up in court for 6 months or 9 months or maybe even a year by the time it winds its way through nonstop appeals to higher courts and finally to the U.S. Supreme Court. So even if it passes, it will never be in effect for the upcoming 2026 midterms. It could have been and almost certainly would have been in effect for the midterms if the GOP Senate had passed it a year ago or 9 months ago or 6 months ago. But now it's too late. They stalled and they waited too long. But my educated guess is that was the whole point of stalling. This is the Democrat, communist traitors, and deep state game plan. Just keep stalling until the cavalry arrives. Who's the cavalry? Democrats retaking power. Part of this art of war deception is not just to stall, but to eventually reverse course and vote for the very bill you're against, but do it too late so it actually looks like you're one of the good guys who came to your senses and came to the rescue of the American people. Now you win re-election while deceiving the citizens. The bill is too late. The election is stolen. But it looks like you tried to help. It looks like you're a good guy. Win-win for the deep state plants in the U.S. Senate. The SAVE Act will not save the midterms. Not now, anyway. Millions of illegal aliens will still be voting, particularly in the battleground states that really matter. Don't get me wrong. I want the SAVE Act for 2028 and beyond, but I'm just pointing out it's too late for 2026. The GOP Senate holdouts knew exactly what they were doing. Even if they suddenly reverse course and pass it, it's too late. And that's what they wanted. If Democrats cheat, what else is new, and stuff the ballot box with millions of illegal alien votes, we will lose the midterms. What comes next? Trump is done. Trump is finished, finito, adios, neutered. He won't pass one bill ever again. The MAGA agenda is dead on arrival. He will never get to finish the job we elected him to do. Trump will also face nonstop impeachments. His life will be a living hell for his last 2 years in the White House. Worst of all, if Democrats retake the Senate, they will immediately kill the filibuster, the very thing dumb, clueless, cowardly, bribed Republican senators refuse to do, and they will try to ram through their radical, un-American Marxist agenda. They will do exactly what the Republicans were afraid to do. So what's the only solution left at this late date? I keep yelling it from the highest mountaintops. President Trump must sign a presidential national security emergency on elections. And under that emergency declaration umbrella, issue a new executive order mandating voter ID, proof of citizenship, a ban of mail-in voting, and paper ballots replacing machine voting. Democrats can't ever overcome that two-thirds vote hurdle, not even close. This is how we neuter Democrat obstruction and radical communist insurrection judges. Insurrection judges. You say that 5 times fast. Radical communist insurrection judges. This is how we win the midterms, combined with President Trump's army of election integrity activists and the new congressional districts created by last week's Supreme Court decision ending race-based gerrymandering, which should give the GOP at least 10 new seats, maybe more, for the midterms. So President Trump, don't be fooled by the promise of the Senate finally passing the Save America Act. Don't congratulate them. Don't slap them on the back if they pass it a month from now or 2 months from now. They'll think they've done a great job. They'll convince you they've done a great job. It's too little. It's too late. It's a scam. It's a mirage. It's a Trojan horse. It's a weapon of mass distraction to throw you off the scent of the only real solution at this late date, a presidential national security emergency election declaration. Period. End of story. Just do it. Liberal heads will explode, and we will win so much we might really get sick of winning. So there's my commentary, inspired by John Goodman, who's probably watching right now, who never leaves me alone. John is like my book, Relentless. The Power of Relentless is my book. It's probably my favorite book out of the 19 books I've written in my life and released in my life. And number 19 and 20 are on the way right now. So actually, it's 18 that have been written, and number 19 is about to come out in America. Number 20 is about to come out in Indonesia. Of all places, and then the UAE, and then China. But I've written all together, when they were all out, 20 books, and my favorite of all time is The Power of Relentless. And it's my book about business success and creating business success and creating prosperity and positive thinking. You just got to be relentless, and John Goodman is relentless. He never leaves me alone. That we've got to have a presidential national emergency for elections declaration. It's the only way to save the midterms. In addition to what the U.S. Congress just did, U.S. Supreme Court just did, which I think will really help us. I think we're going to add at least 10 seats, maybe 11, 12, 13, 14 seats to what we've already got. So that would be great. And that's a double win, because you're taking them away from Democrats. Nobody's even pointing that out. I just thought of that right now. You're not adding out of the blue, poof, there's 10 new seats. No, you're taking 10 all-black Democrat districts away from them, and you're giving us 10 Republicans. That's a 20-seat turnaround. That should actually go a long way to helping us win in 2026 in the midterms. But we could still lose the Senate. If you lose the Senate, you can't pass a judge. You can't get confirmation for a judge. You can't get confirmation for Carrie Lake as the ambassador to Jamaica, for God's sakes, let alone a judge. They all need Senate confirmation, every ambassador. So you've just got to keep the Senate. You got to keep the House. And you can only do it for sure because the Supreme Court decision helped. But we don't know how many states are actually going to come through now. Some of them are chickening out at the last minute. Mississippi just decided to chicken out. They could have given us one or two new Republican seats, and instead they backed out. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I think we'll get at least 10. That's a 20-point turnaround in football, right? 10 is 10 less for them and 10 more for us. That's a 20-point turnaround. Mm-hmm. It's like when you're about to score a touchdown, you're at the 1-yard line, and you throw an interception, the team goes the other way. Instead of you getting 7, they got 7. You didn't score 7, you scored 14. It's a 14-point turnaround. So 10 seats would be a 20-seat turnaround. That would be wonderful. I still don't know if we're going to win if millions of illegals vote. This is the only way to ensure millions of illegals don't vote, millions of fake mail-in ballots don't count. You got to have proof of citizenship. You got to have voter ID, photo voter ID, things like that. You've got to stop machine voting and have paper voting. The list goes on and on. President Trump can do it with a national security emergency declaration. And John Goodman's the one who's been educating me about this and pushing this again and again. Wayne, get it out. Wayne, get it out. Wayne, get it to the president. Good. Thank you, John. You're relentless. The power of relentless. You must have read my book. Must have read my mindset. You've got to be relentless in life. So, John, you win my award for Mr. Relentless. All right, so I wrote it again. This is like the 4th time in the last 2 weeks that I've written something about this President Trump passing a national security for elections, a national security emergency for elections declaration. You can't get more relentless than this. He's being relentless with me, John Goodman. I'm being relentless with President Trump. President Trump, are you listening? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's probably flying back from China right now, or maybe it's his last night in China. He's flying back tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know his schedule. I'm too busy to even look. I know he's been in China. Probably on his way home right now. We'll find out what he accomplished a little later in the show. I'm Wayne Allyn Root. This is Warzone Live. RootForAmerica.com is my website. You can email me anytime, WayneRoot@gmail.com. Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn Root for Vertical Research Advisory, VRA, Kip Herridge's one-of-a-kind global investment and economic newsletter. Listen up. Trump is in charge. The glory days are here.
Growth rates are only going to grow from here.
This is your 4-year window to make a fortune and set up your retirement for the rest of your life. Kip wins whether the markets are up or down, whether the economy is up or down.
We set our folks up for long-term success.
For 21 years, Kip's been a friend, as well as my personal financial advisor. During that time, he's beaten the markets 86% of the time, while the average Wall Street money manager loses to the market 90% of the time. Now Kip is predicting a new golden age for the economy. Let Kip prove it to you for free. Kip's offering his daily VRA investment letter completely free for 2 weeks. Free for 2 weeks. Try it for 2 weeks. I know you'll stay for life. Join now at VRAinsider.com. President Trump wants to make America the energy capital of the world, make America energy independent again. Here is a project that can help accomplish that, or certainly go a long way to helping accomplish it. I'm so proud to introduce you to a real America hero of the energy industry, Mark Bruner, founder and CEO of Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. Mark is a second-generation oil and gas legend whose companies have created more than $15 billion in shareholder value, including Ultra Petroleum. But Lost Soldier could be bigger than Ultra Petroleum, with what could be the largest gas discovery in the United States in 100 years. It's 40,000 acres. It took them 40 years to piece it together in Wyoming. Mark, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Good to see you again, Wayne.
Tell us more about Lost Soldier. What have you got?
Well, I think we've got a really big gas field. I mean, in order to understand why it's just being done now, you got to understand the history. There was a uranium mine out here, and whenever there was a meltdown by 3 Mile Island, they started reclamating this mine and shut it down. 3 years ago, I got a call that basically asked me if I would drill it because they finally got the release and the reclamation was over and they had permits to drill it. So we drilled it, and it's the biggest discovery that I've ever made. Okay, it's basically deep overpressured gas. Starting at around 13,000 feet, it's like a layer cake. It's just zone after zone of overpressure is what it is. So we're very excited about it. The other great thing is that it's surrounded by infrastructure, legacy fields that are essentially run out, and billions of dollars of infrastructure is there for us to utilize, and we don't have to build it. We're building a 5-mile line to hook into that infrastructure, and we believe we can produce up to 400 million a day within 36 months to fill that line, and then we're going to build a bigger line. That's the plan, and yeah, we couldn't be more excited, Wayne, about what we have.
Hey, Mark, listen, I want to make sure people that are contact you, if they're accredited investors and they want to hear more about the project, they want to get involved, they go to lostsoldier.com. Lostsoldier.com. Mark's got a whole team. Every one of them has 40 plus years of experience in the energy and oil business, and they will contact you, call you back, or email you back. This is Wayne Allyn. If you're sick and tired of supporting woke companies, I have great news for you. You don't have to anymore. You can shop where my family shops at GreatPatriotStore.com. My team researched thousands of companies for my best-selling book, The Great Patriot Boycott Book, and one stood out above all, GreatPatriotStore.com. This is the answer to inflation. Hundreds of household products that you're already buying. Much higher quality, no toxic chemicals, delivered right to your door at incredible prices. 20,000 American families are joining every month, and you should too. And now they've got the beef, pasture-raised with no hormones, antibiotics, or mRNA ever, exclusively available only to their members. Like Costco or Sam's Club, you need to become a member. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com, fill out the form, and they'll contact you right away. And boom, you're a member. For a limited time, the annual membership is $1. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com. That's GreatPatriotStore.com. All right, Wayne Allyn, the root is on fire. Welcome back to the show, Warzone Live. The only update I have on what's going on in China is this story after a fantastic day with Xi. Trump touts 200-jet Boeing deal as China offers help in the Strait of Hormuz. Trump says Boeing secured a 200 big jet order from China. He says President Xi wants Hormuz reopened and won't give Tehran any more weapons. Trump and Xi put Hormuz, Iran, trade, Taiwan at the center of historic Beijing summit. And I do want to point out, not bragging, but I want to point out, yesterday we had, you're a witness, Patar, an expert on China. He's Chinese, his whole life's China, and he basically laughed at me on the air when I said Iran would be the big topic. And he said, they're not going to talk about Iran. And Iran was the big topic. Wayne Root knows more about Chinese discussions than a Chinese person who is an expert on China knows about. What do you mean they're not going to talk about Iran? Iran's the only thing that matters. China's helping Iran. You need the Strait of Hormuz opened. And you got to stop them from resupplying weapons to Iran. Of course, that was a leading topic of discussion. He was a nice guy yesterday, and he enlightened us on a few things. But boy, was he wrong, and boy, was I right. So, Iran seems to be the only thing they were talking about. Of course they were. What else would you talk about? You talk about Iran, you talk about Taiwan, you talk about the tariffs. Those are the topics of interest. You talk about trade. Taiwan would be a big one, just like Iran. Because not only are we at war with Iran, but China is very close to being at war with Taiwan. So there's a lot of things to discuss. And Trump and Xi put Iran and the Strait of Hormuz and Taiwan at the center of the historic Beijing summit. I wonder if that guest yesterday has read this and said, wow, Wayne Root was right and I was wrong. I'm a dummy. I wonder if he thinks that. Because he was so certain, he was actually laughing at me. Oh, they're not going to discuss Iran. No, they have no reason to discuss Iran. Anyway, just pointing out, Wayne Root is always right. Even when I think I'm wrong, I'm right. It's a famous old joke. I always like that joke. I'm always right, except once a year when I think I'm wrong. Communist Mandami's latest redistribution scheme, tax on all New York homes over $1 million bought with cash. 2 days ago, Communist Mayor Zohran Mamdani, and I wouldn't put it that way, I would say Communist radical Muslim terrorist supporting Mayor Zohran Mamdani abandoned his desperate plan to aggressively hike property taxes on New Yorkers following unprecedented pushback. Basically, everyone told him every rich person would leave New York. However, since communists who are not redistributing wealth under the barrel of a gun are useless communists, it only took Mamdani 48 hours before pitching his latest idea on how to take. According to Bloomberg, New York lawmakers are planning a new tax on New York City homes purchased in cash for at least $1 million. The lawmakers are also considering expanding the tax to all cash purchases over $1 million in New York, including those in the suburbs and upstate, meaning anything bought in cash for $1 million or more in the entire state of New York. They're going to hit you with a gigantic new tax. I mean, it's just, when they say cash, you know, what do you immediately think? You probably think like that's a drug dealer coming with a bag of cash in a paper bag, you know, or in a suitcase. No, it's like anyone who sells their home for $3 million and goes to buy a new home for $3 million can take the $3 million and bring it in cash. It's not in a bag. There's no mortgage. It's cash. So they're saying if you don't have a mortgage, they're going to hit you with a gigantic tax. So you might as well just have a mortgage. Might as well sell your house for $3 million and then immediately buy a new house for $5 million and put $1 million down and have a $4 million mortgage, because there's no point anymore to pay for cash. Doesn't work. So it's really crazy. All cash transactions have risen in New York. See, I'm right. Such purchases make up more than 60% of all the transactions in New York City in the first 6 months of 2025. Wow. In Manhattan, 9 out of 10 purchases over $3 million were done in all cash transactions between January and June of 2025. There were 18,000 transactions. 9 out of 10 were all cash. See, I was right. That was just a guess of mine. Has nothing to do with cash as in green in a paper bag by the mafia or a drug dealer. It has to do with anyone who sells a house for a lot of money and buys a house for a lot of money. Doesn't need a mortgage. They're paying all cash. Wow. When we get back, 2 high-level White House insiders caught on undercover video bragging about internal subversion against President Trump. They've got the entire government filled with plants from the deep state. All right, Wayne Allyn for Freedom Fest, the World's Fair of Liberty, July 8th to 11th at Caesars Forum Convention Center in Las Vegas. I attend every year. I can't wait to meet all of you. Freedom Fest, the gathering place to celebrate the 250th anniversary of Independence Day. Famous speakers. This year, famous trial, great debate, big annual mock trial. This year, ICE is on trial. The ICE defense attorney is me, Wayne Allyn. The MC is Kennedy from Fox News. Speakers Steve Forbes, Glenn Beck, Adam Carolla, John Mackey, Rob Schneider, Dean Cain. For my fans only, $100 off. Go to freedomfest.com. Promo code WAR to get $100 off. freedomfest.com. All right, Wayne Allyn with Dan Montano, the CEO of Zicha Genesis Medicine. I've been telling you about Zicha Genesis Medicine and its medicines to reverse type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's disease, and the #1 cause of death in the world, small vessel heart disease. This form of heart disease is responsible for 1/3 of all the deaths in the world. So it could be 1/3 of all the people watching right now. Joining us now, the CEO of Zicha Genesis Medicine, Dan Montano. Dan, let's get an update on the success your medicine is having on these diseases. Let's start with type 2 diabetes. What's the latest?
Wayne, very simple. We've dosed about 50 people now in Las Vegas. 95% have reversed their diabetes within a few weeks. Only 2 have not made it so far, but they were so high it didn't count. It's coming along excellent. I think we'll end the study by the end of March, April, and be able to announce the outcome, which I think is going to show 95% success in reversing type 2 diabetes.
Wow. What's the update with Parkinson's disease?
We've now treated over 250 Parkinson's disease patients, including some very big names you'll be hearing about soon, I hope. And the recovery and the improvement is material. They're walking, they're talking, and they've almost got themselves back to normal.
All right, so we're going to have celebrity announcements. I love that. You're treating celebrities. What's new with your treatment of heart disease?
We are now starting to treat people in the Bahamas where we're cleared. In fact, we'll be attending the Caribbean Cardiovascular Conference in July. We expect 300 to 400 doctors to hear about what our medicine does, and hopefully they'll start referring patients to us to treat there. So everything is coming together. Those 3 items are working perfect.
There's an investment opportunity for my fans. What's the latest on that?
Well, right now, the medical research studies that we're doing, we return the investors 10 times on their money. And if they're not happy in 48 months, we'll buy them back at 2 times. But I think they'll probably have the 10 times by the time the 4 years is up, because we're just having a tremendous response on all 3 categories.
Well, the updates are exciting. They are spectacular. They are wonderful, and they are music to my ears. If you're interested in learning more about this investment opportunity, go to cure-war.com. They created that website just for me. Cure-war. Wouldn't it be great to make money and help cure disease? And if you or someone you love is suffering from type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's disease, or heart disease, go to cure-war.com and register to be considered for their free medical research studies. Free. That's cure-war.com. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Wayne.
All right, Wayne Allyn, I am joined by Gordon Bond. What an honor. Owner of Bond Arms, one of the great gun manufacturers, all made in the USA, all made in Texas. His website is getbondarms.com. Gordon, what makes Bond Arms different from any other gun manufacturer?
Well, when my brother started the company a long time ago, the regular Derringer, let me see if I can get it in the picture here, was basically known as a cheap, dangerous throwaway gun. This is a 1865 model. Derringers have been around forever. And what he did was take a dangerous gun and just made it very cool by better materials, trigger guard, interchangeable barrels, solid stainless steel. And Wayne, like you saw at the show, people love picking them up and just holding them. And it's just like they pick it up and it's like, wow, this is like a real gun.
That's great. I saw it. My wife and I were at the show, and she's a gun aficionado even more than I am. And she said it was the best booth at the entire gun show. Out of thousands of booths was Gordon's booth, Bond Arms. To celebrate America's 250th anniversary, Bond Arms is releasing the American 250 edition handgun at a special price only for my fans. Tell us about it.
So one thing that we wanted to do, when I graduated in 1976, it was the bicentennial, and that's all they talked about all year long. And so when this 250th anniversary was coming up, we really wanted to do something special on this. And what you're seeing on the screen right now is the stainless steel version. It's 45 long Colt and 410 shotgun shell, very well built. I mean, our guns are built like a tank. People love the quality. They call it a hand cannon, best snake gun you've ever had. There's a beautiful side with the flag and the Liberty. And people just love the way that we do things. I mean, they'll come to our booth every year and just go, wow, what are y'all doing this year? You know, what crazy thing are you doing this year? So the American 250, we're really going to focus on that. We want to give everybody the opportunity to own a piece of history.
Gun. What a beautiful gun. What a gorgeous gun. The engravings. Wow. And I love that name, hand cannon. I want a hand cannon. Mine got delivered today. I'll have them for next week's show. My own personal hand cannon from Bond Arms. How do you get it? Go to getbondarms.com. See the number on the screen, getbondarms.com, or call 817-573-4445. See the disclaimer on the bottom of the screen for certain restrictions. Getbondarms.com. Gordon, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
All right, Wayne Allyn, the root's on fire. Welcome back. We are in Las Vegas, Nevada, my hometown. Adopted hometown of 24 years. Love it here. I saw the most misleading story in the history of the media today, and believe it or not, it was at Fox News. The headline was, Las Vegas bankrupt ghost town. I was like, what? And then I go look, and it's about Primm, Nevada. Primm, Nevada. Do you know what Primm, Nevada is? It's an hour from here in the middle of the desert with tumbleweeds going by at the Nevada-California border. It's a place where people stop for gas. And it used to have 4 giant casinos with a roller coaster and hundreds of slot machines, and truckers stopped. And now, over the years, people stopped going there because there are tons of Indian casinos in California. No one needs to go to Prim anymore to gamble. You know, if they happen to be far away from Vegas, they stopped an hour short and they gamble there at cheap, crappy hotels where you get a room for like $20 a night. Flea bag hotels. You probably couldn't leave without fleas. And all of them have gone out of business, and the last one is closing on July 4th. So they're going, it's a ghost town. It was always a ghost town with tumbleweeds. It's not Las Vegas. It's Prim, Nevada. If you've ever heard of Prim, Nevada, you probably haven't. You know why? Because it's a crap hole. It's not Las Vegas. What a misleading headline of Fox News. Yeah, Vegas is dying. I go out every night in the Vegas Strip. It's jammed. You can't find a parking space. Can't find a dinner reservation. Yeah, we're really in trouble. Everybody loves Las Vegas. They're going to all keep coming here. Lost Soldier Oil and Gas is the sponsor of this segment of the show. Lost Soldier is literally a 40,000-acre giant gas discovery in Wyoming. It took 40 years to piece together this 40,000-acre piece of land. The first 4,000 feet drilled so far are estimated to contain up to 6 trillion cubic feet of gas, making it one of the largest natural gas discoveries in the Rocky Mountain region in the last 30 years. The surge in AI data centers is placing soaring demand on energy resources. This is how we power the AI future of America with inexpensive, clean natural gas. And the best news of all, it's headed by oil and gas legend Mark Bruner, whose previous public companies, Pinnacle Energy and Ultra Petroleum, delivered spectacular returns for investors at its peak. A $10,000 investment in Ultra Petroleum turned into over $13 million. $10,000 into over $13 million. I invested twice last year in this project, by the way, if you care how I think of it. I'm going to invest again this year. By the end of the year, I'll invest a third time. To learn more about Lost Soldier Oil and Gas and the opportunity in front of you, go to lostsoldier.com, fill out the contact form. That's lostsoldier.com. And I always want to remind you, past performance does not automatically guarantee future performance, right? Just because you made millions on a small investment in the past doesn't mean you're going to do it again in the future. But it's nice to have a CEO who's done it before, who you know knows what he's doing. So I think that's a huge advantage, and that's why I invested twice. lostsoldier.com. All right, my guest is Allyn Evans. He is with the Friends of the Israel Defense Forces, the IDF. He serves as VP of the Washington, D.C. Young Leaders Chapter. The website is FIDF.org for Friends of Israel Defense Forces.org, FIDF.org. Allyn Evans, welcome to the show. How are you?
Great to be on. Thank you. Doing well.
Great to have you on. So you are an evangelical Christian, one of only 2 non-Jews with your chapter of Friends of the Israel Defense Forces. Why do you support Jews in the IDF?
Absolutely. I mean, to me, it's very simple. And I think, obviously, going back to my faith, I mean, I've grew up just in love with, the Old Testament heroes of the faith that the amazing thing is, like, when you look at who the IDF is even looking at right now to base their leadership and their leadership training and things, it's some of the heroes of the faith that I had growing up. So there's always been an affinity there. But really, it happened on October 7th. I mean, I was sitting in my office that day and turned on the TV, and I was glued to what was going on with tears in my eyes. I'm not a crier, but I hadn't felt that way since 9/11. And I think that, even beyond the faith connection of really just knowing the history of the land, but just seeing what's happening to the poor people in Israel, and seeing the threats from Hezbollah, Hamas, obviously all orchestrated by Iran and through the different proxies, but just seeing how horrendous those attacks were. And then on October 8th and 9th, seeing the response in America with some of our friends here who are actually championing, not out in the streets, defending democracy and defending, the only democracy in the Middle East, who had just had a horrendous attack and rapes and murders and kidnappings, but defending the terrorists. And I think at that
Shocking,
point,
right? Shocking.
It just, I've at that moment, I just realized I've got to do something more than I've been doing. And
Allyn,
so
some things are, so I just want to interrupt, say some things are so shocking and so tragic that you need to laugh at them, because otherwise you'd cry. And one of the things that I found so shocking is people at march and say gays for Gaza. It's the stupidest thing
Yeah.
I've ever seen in my entire life.
They throw them
If
off
they were there,
buildings.
they throw them off a roof in 1
Exactly.
second after probably gang raping them with a pipe. They'd beat them to death and throw them off a roof. No gay is wanted in Gaza. So why are you on the side of the Palestinians when in Israel you can be gay and they have gay march parades and they treat you like a decent human being? In Israel, if you're a Muslim, they treat you better than in a Muslim. If you're a Muslim woman, you're treated better than in a Muslim country, right?
Yep, absolutely. No, and I saw that firsthand. I mean, I went to Israel in May of 24. The war was still going on, obviously, in full steam, and you know, went around to Israel, also visited the Gaza envelope. But you know, I think I met Muslims in IDF. I mean, I think that was the really amazing part when you kind of look at the narrative that we see here in the U.S. And and I went and visited the bases and met with the troops, and just, I mean, really inspiring trip to just see the heroism and the resolve, and obviously just the unilateral focus. Every troop I talked to was talking about getting the hostages out, and unilateral focus. But you know, I talked to Christians, I talked to Muslims, obviously, you know, I talked to many in the Jewish faith that were in IDF. But a very diverse army, and they were all just as patriotic and just as in love with Israel. And Israel's the only place in the Middle East where Christianity's actually grown instead of declined. It's the only place in the Middle East where you have freedoms. You know, if you're, whether you're Christian, whether you're gay, whether you're, you know, Muslim, it doesn't matter.
Whether you're a woman, you're treated
absolutely
well, right?
Yeah,
but you're not in Muslim countries. I mean, if you're a woman, can you imagine the heat of a Muslim country? It's 130 outside, and you're trapped in that dome of black clothing with little eye slits. That is the most disgusting thing I could ever think of doing to a woman. It's just horrible. I mean, what they do to women is so horrible. They keep them enslaved. I'm kind of the polar opposite of you, and then we come around and we join together, Aaron, because you're a Christian who supports the IDF, and I'm a Jew with 2 Jewish parents, 4 Jewish grandparents who took Jesus Christ as my savior 35 years ago. So
that's
I'm a
amazing.
Messianic Jew. So
That's
we're kind of
amazing.
the opposite but join, come together in the same spot. So
Yeah,
it's kind of
I love
interesting.
that.
Yeah, the Jews are God's chosen people, or so God said, right? But there are a lot of Christians now who suddenly don't believe that. And I think I'm immediately thinking of like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. They're arguing over it. They're making a big deal of it. You know what my answer to that is? I think Jews are proven to be the chosen people because they make up 0.5% of the world. No one should even care about them. And that's all Tucker Carlson talks about 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Candace Owens, that's all she talks about. All the Jew haters of the world, they're obsessed with Jews 24 hours. I think we are, in fact, the chosen people because we're on your minds 24 hours a day. We live in your minds.
I couldn't agree more. And I think, you know, I was talking to someone about this the other day about the whole concept of anti-Semitism, and to all the points you just made. You look throughout history and you look at how small of a minority the Jewish people are. And, you know, during the Holocaust, you know, Jews were basically not white enough. Now, if you kind of listen to others, they're too white, and
right, they're not minorities.
they're whatever people fear at the moment is what is projected on the Jewish people, and I think it does go back. You know, my personal opinion on it is I think it definitely goes back to spiritual warfare, and you know, Satan is a coward, and he always attacks those the things that he knows that God loves the most, and I think that that's exactly what we see happening, and why the Jewish people are a continual target. And I think it's even more of a reason why, as Christians, you know, we need to understand the truth, know the truth. And you know, when Christ was tempted, we don't see red letter words in his responses to Satan. He could have done that, but he went back and quoted the Torah. He went back and quoted the Old Testament because those words had power even for Christ himself when he was being tempted by Satan. We need to go back and understand, you know, the roots of our faith, and the roots that we share with the Jewish people, but also it's vital. You know, and I think going over and seeing that firsthand, and just visiting the kibbutzes and seeing the carnage, just the buildings that were blown up.
Very important to see and feel
it's
it. Yeah.
good versus evil.
You know what? You know what I always say, and I don't mean it in any way disrespect. So if anyone's offended, please don't be offended. But I mean, if you're a Christian and you don't like Jews and you don't like Israel, I have to point out to you that Jesus was a Jew. You know, the people that don't like Jews want to say Wayne Root. You know, I don't care how much you've taking Jesus as your savior, you're a Jew. Your blood is Jewish. You're a Jew. You're not a Christian, right? Well, that means Jesus is always a Jew once he's born a Jew. So you're praying to Jesus, Jesus in your heart, and he's a Jew. And yet you're saying you hate Jews. It makes no sense at all. Zero sense. Jesus was a Jew. And he later converted and became a Christian and became the founder of the Christian religion. So a Jew founded the Christian religion. That's why Jews and Christians must always be friends, right?
Well, and in fact, I mean, when you go back to the history of Christianity, I mean, during the early days, what now is known as Christianity was actually viewed as a kind of a sect of Judaism at the time because Jesus was a rabbi and he was a radical to the current day, and but I think again, like our foundation, and Paul talked about that in Galatians about
Aaron, I'm going to interrupt you.
Only
Aaron, we're going to a break. So just stay there for a minute. I'll bring you back on the other side, okay? Don't go anywhere. We're going to break. The music's on. When that starts playing in my ear, I know I got to close out the segment. So stay there. We'll bring Aaron Evans back. He's with the Friends of the Israel Defense Forces, IDF. I've been to many of their events here in Las Vegas. I've contributed to them, FIDF.org. We'll be right back talking more about Israel and Iran and everything else going on. Be right back. All right, one of my favorite guests ever, Allyn Pariser's with us, an advocate for GreatPatriotStore.com. He's been a customer for 36 years, almost 4 decades. My wife and I, Cindy, do much of our monthly shopping now at GreatPatriotStore.com. It's an alternative to wokeness. It's run by pro-American conservatives. USA Today voted it one of the best stores in America in 2025. And with all these communists taking over, Allyn Pariser, New York, Seattle, Chicago, promising cheap government groceries or free, you need to buy American. Tell us why.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of our competitors have completely lost it. They've gone totally woke over the years, but our founding axiom is really very simple. For 41 years, we've been focused on manufacturing exceptional products at reasonable prices, made by Americans, here in America, for Americans. And we've expanded. We have manufacturing plants across the United States, distribution plants across the United States. And not only can Americans get the best quality, the best price from Great Patriot Store, in most cases, we can deliver to your front door even faster than Amazon.
So prices are high everywhere. Procter & Gamble and Amazon are considering price increases. How do the prices at Great Patriot Store compare to national brands?
Well, we've got hundreds of products, Wayne, but if you just take a look at one like our laundry detergent, we make it, it's patented, and it's literally almost fractions, almost half the price of our competitors, and you get 96 loads of wash. It's the best value. There's no toxic chemicals in any of our products whatsoever. And if you're looking to lose some of those holiday pounds, you don't need the shots with the LPG-1 drugs. We have something called berberine. Nature's Ozempic is what people are calling it. It's legit, it works, and we've got it at a better price than any of our competitors.
All right, we've got just seconds to go, so be quick. I love your beef. I eat your sirloin and your New York steak all the time. It's kind of breakfast and lunch for me all the time. Why is your beef superior?
Made in America, never, ever any hormones, ever any antibiotics, no mRNA. It's all prime. It's the best quality that you can find at the best price, free shipping, and it's the best beef on the planet.
All right, to get your free gift, that's right, a free gift, purchase the beef and other great American products. You got to be a member. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com, fill out the form. One of their conservative team members will contact you right away. GreatPatriotStore.com. Happy New Year. Thank you, Allyn.
Thank you, Wayne. God bless.
Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn Root, CEO, conservative TV and radio host, and best-selling author. I believe in America and American exceptionalism. America is now focused on energy independence. Enter Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. It took 40 years to piece together this 40,000-acre giant gas discovery. The first 4,000 feet drilled so far are estimated to contain up to 6 trillion cubic feet of gas, making it one of the largest natural gas discoveries in the Rocky Mountain region in the last 30 years. This is how we power the AI future of America with clean natural gas. headed by oil and gas legend Mark Bruner, whose previous public companies, Pinnacle Energy and Ultra Petroleum, delivered spectacular returns for investors. At its peak, a $10,000 investment in Ultra Petroleum turned into over $13 million. To learn more about this Lost Soldier oil and gas opportunity, go to lostsoldier.com. Fill out the contact form. That's lostsoldier.com.
Hi.
All right, we are live, and that's a good thing because the show is called Warzone Live, so we better be live. It's Wade Allyn. It's Thursday. What's today? The 14th, I think. Yeah, 14th of May. Moving right along. We're almost in June. Wow, we're almost to July. We get to July. It's time for summer. In 2 minutes, summer will be over. It'll be time for Halloween, and then it's Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's just, as you get older, it moves so fast. It's scary. Every day, every week, every month is going in hyperspeed. For me, anyway, I can tell you. Wow, I'm going to be 65 years old this July, which is stunning. And let's face it, you live a long life if you're 85. That's considered a long life, which would mean I only have 20 Super Bowls left. I only have 20 Christmases left. I only have 20 birthdays left. That's, if you live that long. You could also live much longer, but I'm just saying, on average, you're lucky if you get to 85. Can you imagine having only 20 Super Bowls, 20 Christmases, 20 Easters, 20 Passovers, 20 birthdays, 20 anniversaries for the rest of your life? That's it. So it's kind of scary when you think about it, but, I take 100 vitamin pills a day, so I'm aiming for 120. We'll see what happens. Energized Health is also making a big difference in my life. They are the sponsor of this segment. I lost 25 pounds of fat and gained 10 pounds of muscle, which I didn't even know I had to lose on this program in only 88 days, and that was 6 years ago, and I've kept it all off. That's me at the age of 50, 15 years ago. 50 with Steve Forbes. That's me in the gym today. I look like my old high school football days when I was a strong safety. That is what they did for me. They reversed aged me. They are my fountain of youth. And they did it not because I lost any weight, because I weighed the exact same amount. Didn't lose a pound. I lost fat and I gained muscle. Muscle weighs more than fat. It's the exact opposite of Ozempic and all those, and Mounjaro and all those drugs everybody's taking now. There's like 50 million Americans on them, and they are so bad for you. When you take those drugs, you lose muscle, not fat. So you could have just as much fat, which is horrible for you. You could have a heart attack because of fat. You could get any number of diseases, diabetes because of fat. But you lose muscle. So if someone runs into you, you're going to break in half. You're like so skinny with lots of fat and no muscle. That is not healthy. Energized Health is healthy. And you could do it with Mounjaro and with Ozempic and with all those drugs, and it mitigates the bad side effects. So that's the way to do this, is do the two together. EnergizedHealth.com. EnergizedHealth.com. Just say WAR for Wade Allyn, and you get 40% off, and you go on the same journey as me. It could be your fountain of youth. It could reverse age you like it did for me. EnergizedHealth.com, promo code WAR. All right, we've got Aaron Evans with us, part two. He's the Friends of Israel Defense Forces guy who is with us. A young man, serves as vice president of the Washington, D.C. Young Leaders chapter. His website, FIDF.org, FIDF.org, which stands for Friends of Israel Defense Forces.org. You are back on the show, Aaron Evans. Welcome back. How are you? All right. So here's the deal. What exactly is the Friends of Israel Defense Forces, and what exactly do they do for the Israeli Defense Forces?
It's a very important organization. First of all, it's the only nonprofit organization in the United States that's directly authorized to integrate with the IDF in Israel. So it is, as far as a nonprofit that we can get involved in, where our money goes directly and our efforts go directly to IDF direct support. FIDF is the only sanctioned nonprofit that can do that. And it's a bunch of amazing things. Really, one of the key things, especially since October 7th, there's really three main areas that excites me. There's, dozens of major initiatives that FIDF is involved in. one is every single soldier that has died since October 7th and even prior to that, but every single soldier that's died fighting terrorism, trying to keep Israel safe and free. The FIDF has had someone at their funeral and had someone in the homes of their loved ones to make sure that they're not grieving alone and make sure that they've got support. And I think that to me is a very special part of what FIDF does. They've also been really invested in PTSD. You can imagine how small Israel is, and literally there's not a soldier, not a family that hasn't been impacted by this war because of the small population, the small geography, and PTSD is just a major problem. And obviously our soldiers deal with that here, where we're spread out much more, and there it's just literally every home has been impacted by it. And so FIDF's been leading the way in PTSD solutions and recovery and counseling and support, partnering with Sheba Medical Center in different places. And so that's also been really key. And then also really just things that support the troops. FIDF doesn't do bullets or anything that actually, is military, but just making sure that, they've got warm clothes for the winter. Obviously fighting Hezbollah in the north on the Lebanon border. It gets really cold up there in the winter. And I think the one thing that a lot of Americans, I was actually really surprised to learn, we've got a professional military, and a lot of people choose that as a career, and you can make money while you're doing it, even though we could probably still pay our troops better. But in Israel,
they're all volunteer. I mean,
they're all volunteer.
They all are drafted into it, right? They're all drafted into it.
They're drafted in, and then after October 7th, they've had such a shortage, even with the draft. You've got guys your age, my age, in the middle that have actually went back in, and so I mean, you've got men who may have multiple kids and a wife and a job, and they're going and fighting in Gaza in the evenings and going back to work the next morning.
Hey,
they're in the
Aaron,
reserves.
we're on the way out, buddy. They're giving me a 5 count. We got to leave, but we got to let everyone know. FIDF.org. FIDF.org. Thank you, Aaron.
Hi, this is Wayne Allyn from my great friends John and Chelsea.
Coming to you from Las Vegas. This is known as Warzone Live, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. East Coast time. Great to be with you. All kinds of things happening. This is the mainstream media, not the mainstream media, and I am the biggest MAGA mouth in the world. We got a great guest. Dinesh D'Souza is with us. Dinesh, we appreciate you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Wayne.
Buckle up your seatbelts. Let's go to war.
Wayne Allyn Root, happy to see you again on the cutting edge of things on your show, whether it's medical, political, you name it, you're on top of it. So just great to hear that. Great to hear that.
So wonderful to be with you again, Wayne. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be with you tonight.
It's great to see you, Wayne. How you been?
Anytime, Wayne. Great to see you.
Hey, Wayne, great to see you, brother.
Hey, Wayne. Good to be with you. Wayne, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Lots going on.
Doing great, Wayne. Glad to be here.
The Root's on fire. Welcome to my show, Warzone Live. Monday through Friday, official podcast, The Gateway Pundit, from 6 to 8 p.m. East Coast time, 3 to 5 p.m. West Coast time every day. This is the Wayne Stream Media. No more mainstream media allowed in. Only Wayne Stream Media, meaning raw truth and in-your-face mother trucker information. As many of you know, I'm an idea man. I don't just criticize like 99% of TV and radio hosts. I contribute with doable solutions. The American people don't like it. I know. I speak to them.
Warning! The Root's on fire! You're about to experience the most high-octane, pedal-to-the-metal controversial show of your life. Please buckle up and hold on tightly. This station is not responsible for injuries. This is Wayne Allyn Root, raw and unfiltered, with America's favorite conservative rock star, direct from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. What time is it? It's time for war! Here's your host, 100% raw truth, 100% American made, the warrior, Wayne Allyn Root.
All right, the Root's on fire. Wayne Allyn Root, great to be with you. Here in Las Vegas, otherwise known as lost wages. I love that term. So interesting. I hope all of you come here and lose your wages because that's why we pay no taxes. I'm just kidding. I hope some of you win. A minority. Because if a majority win, we'd go broke. Casinos aren't built on winners, let me tell you. They're built on people losing money. But they're built on people having a really good time while they're losing money. And you can have a really good time in Las Vegas. It's a great place. It's the restaurant capital of the world now. One of my buddies is a very well-known tax lawyer all over the United States. We went to the Knights hockey game the other day together. And he came from Los Angeles. He lived in Bel Air in a multi-million-dollar house, and he moved to Vegas. And he never looked back. He said, I've spent a lot of time traveling in New York, and I lived in L.A. Vegas has the best food in the United States of America, not even close. Anyone who says New York is better doesn't know what they're talking about. Vegas has the best restaurants and the best food. All right. I wrote the column. I opened hour number 1 with it. I'm going to open hour number 2 with it. I hope it gets to the president. I'm going to send it directly to the president's desk, and I hope his people are talking about it. I know when I wrote my original column on this national security emergency for elections that the president can declare, and you need 2/3 votes of Congress to overturn it, and it'll never happen, so they will not be able to overturn it, and we'd have a safe and secure election at the midterms. When I wrote it, I heard from my sources at the White House that everyone at the White House was buzzing about it. Everyone was talking about Wayne Root's article. Everyone was talking about Wayne Root's solution. All the White House lawyers were studying it to figure out if it really would work. It was really, for like 2 weeks, the thing that was on everyone's lips at the White House, so I'm following up. The title is Why the Save America Act Has Become a Scam to Fool President Trump. Stop fighting for it for now. It's a Trojan horse. Here's the only real solution for the midterms. I've got it. And I just want to mention Scott Pressler, who, has fought very hard for the Republican Party. He's the gay guy with the long hair, and he really helped us to win Pennsylvania in 2024. And he is a hard worker, and he means well, I'm sure. But he's got a video in front of Thune's office today, the Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, and he's got a video where Pressler's saying, I'm standing in front of Senate Majority Leader Thune's office, and we've got to force him to pass the Save America Act. Well, it's not going to help, Scott. You don't understand. First of all, you can't pass it. They refuse to undo the filibuster, and you're several votes short, so there's no way you're going to pass it. So it's futile, number one. Number two, even if you convince them to kill the filibuster and pass it, it wouldn't matter because it's going to be sued in court. It's never going to go through in time for the midterms. So we have a better answer. So here's my commentary. No one in all of America wants voter ID, proof of citizenship, and end to mail-in ballots and paper ballots replacing machine votes more than me. I fought loud and hard for the Save America Act. I fought for this bill like a cornered Wolverine. To me, it was the only way to save the midterms. But my fight for the Save Act was a year ago and many months ago, not now. Now it's $1 short and a day late. Passing it now would be a scam. Here's why. First, this was the easiest bill to pass in history. Everyone's for it. Republican voters, Democrat voters, independents, white voters, black voters, Latino voters, literally everyone. Yet with GOP controlling both houses of Congress and knowing Democrats rig and cheat elections like the rest of us breathe air, the GOP Senate refused to pass it. What a disgrace. The holdout GOP senators are now exposed as frauds, either playing for the Democrats, the deep state, or bribed or blackmailed by China and the CCP. But many Republicans and conservatives and MAGA patriots like Scott Pressler are still trying hard for the Senate to finally come to their senses and pass the SAVE Act. They think they can embarrass, humiliate, or shame the holdouts into suspending the filibuster and passing the SAVE Act. Here's the problem. Here's why this is a scam, a Trojan horse, a mirage, a WMD, a weapon of mass distraction. If the Save America Act passed a year ago, or 9 months ago, or 6 months ago, it would have been a godsend. It would have saved the midterms. But now it's too late because the day after it passes, Democrat super lawyer Mark Elias and his evil band of scumbag communist traitor lawyers will file a lawsuit, and it will be tied up in court for 6 months, 9 months, maybe even a year. By the time it winds its way through nonstop appeals to higher courts and finally to the Supreme Court, this stuff takes months, if not years. So even if it passes, it will never be in effect in time for the upcoming midterms. Not now. too late. It could have been, and almost certainly would have been, in effect for the midterms if the GOP Senate had passed it a year ago or 6 months ago, maybe even 3 months ago. But now is too late. They stalled and they waited too long. But my educated guess is that was the plan. That was the whole point of stalling. This is the Democrat communist traitors and the deep state game plan. Just keep stalling until the cavalry arrives. And what's the cavalry? Democrats retaking power. That's what they're waiting for. And part of this art of war deception is not just to stall, but to eventually reverse course. So they may succumb to the pressure of all of us and Scott Pressler and President Trump and vote for the very bill that they are absolutely against, but do it too late so it actually looks like you're one of the good guys who came to your senses and came to the rescue of the American people. And then you're going to win re-election because people think you're a good guy, but you've been deceiving the citizens. The bill is too late. The election is stolen, but it looks like you tried to help, and it's a win-win for deep state plants who play by that game. The SAVE Act will not save the midterms, period. Not now, right? Don't get me wrong. I want the SAVE Act for 2028 and beyond. But I'm just pointing out it's too late for 2026. The GOP Senate holdouts knew exactly what they were doing. Even if they suddenly reverse course and pass it, it would be a miracle. But even if they do, it's too late. If Democrats cheat, and what else is new, right? That's how they cheat day and night. That's how they win elections. The only way they know how to win is by cheating. And stuff the ballot box with millions of illegal alien votes. We will lose the midterms. What comes next? Trump is done. Finished. Finito. Adios. He won't pass a single bill ever again. The MAGA agenda is dead. He will never get to finish the job we elect him to do. Trump will also face non-stop impeachments. His life will be a living hell for his last 2 years in the White House. And worst of all, if the Democrats retake the Senate, they will immediately kill the filibuster, the very thing that dumb, clueless, cowardly, bribed Republican senators refused to do because it wouldn't be fair. And Democrats will try to ram through their radical, un-American Marxist agenda. They will do exactly what Republicans were afraid to do because they don't care if it's fair. Democrats, ironically, even though they're the party of gays and transgenders, Democrat politicians don't have limp wrists. They have fists. And they fight. Republicans are a bunch of limp-wristed losers. So what's the only solution at this late date? I keep yelling it from the highest mountaintops. President Trump must sign a presidential national security emergency on elections. And under that emergency declaration umbrella, issue a new EO, executive order, mandating voter ID, proof of citizenship, a ban of mail-in voting, and paper ballots replacing machines. Democrats can't ever overcome that two-thirds vote hurdle. Not even close. This is how we neuter Democrat obstruction and radical communist insurrection judges. This is how we win the midterms, combined with President Trump's army that he brags about of election integrity activists and the new congressional districts created by last week's Supreme Court decision that ended race-based gerrymandering, which should give the GOP at least 10 new seats, maybe more for the midterms. So President Trump, don't be fooled by the promise of the Senate finally passing the Save America Act. It's too little, it's too late, it's a scam, it's a mirage, it's a Trojan horse, it's a weapon of mass distraction to throw you off the scent of the only real solution at this late date, a presidential national security emergency election declaration. Period. End of story. Just do it. Liberal heads will explode, and we will win so much we might really get sick of winning. All right, inspired by John Goodman, good friend and a good guy, and a very smart guy who understands election integrity and understands how Democrats are stealing elections and has caught my ear and is relentless. So thank you, John. Good day for President Trump, at least according to Team Trump. They call it a fantastic day. 200-jet Boeing deal, and China offers help with the Strait of Hormuz. And highly anticipated deal with Boeing appears to have materialized after the first day of President Trump's summit with Jinping. First day. Okay, so he's not flying home. He's still there for a few days. I didn't even realize that. I'm so busy, I have no time to look at details of things like this. So, interesting. I said I'd get to this. Two high-level White House insiders caught an undercover video bragging about internal subversion against President Trump. The O'Keefe Media Group, otherwise known as OMG, oh my God, Tuesday released undercover video of White House insiders bragging about, clogging up the system so Trump gets nothing done. Maxim Loft, special assistant to President Trump, admitted to OMG undercover journalist that domestic policy decisions are often made based on what feels like a good idea. In theory, everything should sort of come from the president, but it might come from the level below it where they're like, I think I know the president well enough to say what he would say on this. Benjamin Ellenstein, a budget analyst manager with the executive office of the president, said we have to get rid of Trump. He's effing it up for everybody. We have to get rid of him. These are the people that work for Trump, that run the White House, that run America. All right, Wayne Allyn Root with Dan Montano, the CEO of Zicha Genesis Medicine. I've been telling you about Zicha Genesis Medicine. It's medicines to reverse type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's disease, and the number one cause of death in the world, small vessel heart disease. This form of heart disease is responsible for 1/3 of all the deaths in the world. So it could be 1/3 of all the people watching right now. Joining us now, the CEO of Zicha Genesis Medicine, Dan Montano. Dan, let's get an update on the success your medicine is having on these diseases. Let's start with type 2 diabetes. What's the latest?
Wayne, very simple. We've dosed about 50 people now in Las Vegas. 95% have reversed their diabetes within a few weeks. Only 2 have not made it so far, but they were so high it didn't count. It's coming along excellent. I think we'll end the study by the end of March, April, and be able to announce the outcome, which I think is going to show 95% success in reversing type 2 diabetes.
Wow. What's the update with Parkinson's disease?
We've now treated over 250 Parkinson's disease patients, including some very big names you'll be hearing about soon, I hope. And the recovery and the improvement is material. They're walking, they're talking, and they've almost got themselves back to normal.
All right, so we're going to have celebrity announcements. I love that. You're treating celebrities. What's new with your treatment of heart disease?
We are now starting to treat people in the Bahamas where we're cleared. In fact, we'll be attending the Caribbean Cardiovascular Conference in July. We expect 300 to 400 doctors to hear about what our medicine does, and hopefully they'll start referring patients to us to treat there. So everything is coming together. Those 3 items are working perfect.
There's an investment opportunity for my fans. What's the latest on that?
Well, right now, the medical research studies that we're doing, we return the investors 10 times on their money. And if they're not happy in 48 months, we'll buy them back at 2 times. But I think they'll probably have the 10 times by the time the 4 years is up, because we're just having a tremendous response on all 3 categories.
Well, the updates are exciting. They are spectacular. They are wonderful, and they are music to my ears. If you're interested in learning more about this investment opportunity, go to cure-war.com. They created that website just for me. Cure-war. Wouldn't it be great to make money and help cure disease? And if you or someone you love is suffering from type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's disease, or heart disease, go to cure-war.com and register to be considered for their free medical research studies. Free. That's cure-war.com. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Wayne.
Hi, this is Wayne Allyn Root from my great friends John and Chelsea. Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn Root from Vertical Research Advisory, VRA, Kip Herridge's one-of-a-kind global investment and economic newsletter. Listen up. Trump is in charge. The glory days are here.
Growth rates are only going to grow from here.
This is your 4-year window to make a fortune and set up your retirement for the rest of your life. Kip wins whether the markets are up or down, whether the economy is up or down.
We set our folks up for long-term success.
For 21 years, Kip's been a friend, as well as my personal financial advisor. During that time, he's beaten the markets 86% of the time, while the average Wall Street money manager loses to the market 90% of the time. Now Kip is predicting a new golden age for the economy. Let Kip prove it to you for free. Kip's offering his daily VRA investment letter completely free for 2 weeks. Free for 2 weeks. Try it for 2 weeks. I know you'll stay for life. Join now at VRAinsider.com. So I'll continue with this story. It's Wayne Allyn Root, Warzone Live, rootforamerica.com, wayneroot@gmail.com. This is the official podcast, The Gateway Pundit. All of that I wanted to get in real quick, and then I want to get right to this story. So they found a couple of people, and there's probably so many of them, bragging that they're all, government employees at the White House or in the big agencies, bragging that they're stopping Trump's agenda. Benjamin Ellenstein, a budget analyst manager within the executive office of the president, expressed, "We have to get rid of Trump," while calling the president a madman and insisting his coworkers can't know how he truly feels about the current sitting president of the United States. When OMG, which is the O'Keefe Media Group, contacted Benjamin Ellenstein, he refused to comment. He said, sounded flustered and claimed, "I have no idea what we're talking about," before hanging up the phone. Can you picture these guys when they got him on camera saying it? "I have no idea what you're talking about." Unbelievable. He said, Lott responded, that's the gal who said, we make things up because we think Trump might like him. She said, "I went out with an individual I thought was a genuine person, but goes to show how insidious politics in this city can be. Nothing I said was contradictory of this administration. I remain fully committed in helping carry out its agenda." In any case, there's a lot of people who are subverting Trump's agenda. Minnesota culture of fraud enabled more than $9 billion in misused taxpayer funds. A culture of fraud infected Minnesota state agencies, resulting in $9 billion in taxpayer money squandered, a new legislative report says. Many fraudsters came to believe fraud was tolerated, and it paid off in a big way. You don't think this is going on in every state that Democrats control? You don't think this is going on in Republican states with Democrats right under our noses accepting federal funds and lying and cheating and stealing and using it to beat Republican candidates? Of course it's going on. Former BLM activist, as in Black Lives Matter, goes scorched earth on the scam group, insists that systemic racism in the U.S. isn't real. Of course not. This is what I said, and the liberals attacked me, and they said I'm a conspiracy theorist. They said, what about Charlottesville? See, you come with one single emotional example. That's what liberals do. In the entire United States in the last 10 years, there's been like one place where a bunch of KKK members marched with white hoods. Charlottesville. One time. And I said, how do you know that they're actually KKK? And how do you know that they're far right? How do you know it's not far left making believe they're KKK so they can raise money and incite division? And they said, Wayne Root is a conspiracy theorist. He believes the people in Charlotte were paid and they're actually liberals and they're paid protesters. And it turns out I was right, because Southern Poverty Law Center was paying the KKK and Nazi groups to actually go out and protest so that they could say, look, they still exist in America all over the place. And so we need to raise money to counter it. And they raised millions of dollars, hundreds of millions based on that. So they were the ones paying for far right-wing groups to protest and paying for actors. I was right again. So a Black Lives Matter activist turned conservative influencer blasted BLM as a scam and insisted that Democrats are the party of racism and violence. Xavier DeRosu, 29, revealed he did a complete 180 from his liberal upbringing during the 2020 George Floyd riots, as he realized the movement was a money grab and that he was indoctrinated. Once I started looking at the conservative side of the argument, I started realizing, wait, socialism has literally never worked in history. BLM has always been a scam. Democrat Party has always been the party of racism and violence. 100% true. And the only scam as big or equal, as big or bigger than this scam of BLM. And why do I call BLM a scam? First of all, they never had a problem when a black person kills a black person. They never have a problem in Chicago when every day black people shoot black people, and every week 10, 20 blacks are killed by other blacks, and every week 70 are shot by other blacks every weekend. And they don't care. Only when one black person is shot by a white cop are there BLM riots. So that's part of scam, part one. And then part two is they took the money and they bought mansions and fancy cars. They didn't help black people. It's a scam. But the only thing equal to them is the pro-Palestinian movement. Another scam. where they just steal the money, never give it to the people, let the people starve. It's just like the BLM movement. Bond Arms is the sponsor of this segment of the show. We now have a gun worthy of President Trump's 250th anniversary celebration. Look at that beautiful gun. The Bond Arms America 250 edition handgun, American-made, precision crafted, built like a tank, performs like a hand cannon, takes shotgun shells. Bond Arms builds the smallest, most powerful personal protection handgun you can carry to celebrate 250 years of independence. It's a work of art. It's a work of art. It's got 250th anniversary engraving. Go to getbondarms.com, getbondarms.com. As a Wayne Root fan, you automatically get $100 off. The gun is only $499. Getbondarms.com. All right, I'm joined by Kip Herridge, my old buddy, an economic expert, CEO of Vertical Research Advisory. His website, VRAinsider.com. As I've explained on this show so many times, VRA has beaten the market in 19 of the last 22 years since Kip founded the VRA in 2003. Over the last 3 years, VRA had an average gain of 37%. Kip, congratulations on your success. I've seen it firsthand for over 22 years. I've read your newsletter for the last 22 plus years. You're my personal financial expert. How do you guys keep beating the markets almost every year when 90% of Wall Street money managers fail to do so?
Well, thanks, Wayne. You know, I worked in that environment for 15 years, worked at Wall Street 15 years, helped take 7 companies public, raised and managed several $100 million. And I know how the groupthink of Wall Street works, and that's not how people make money. 90% of money managers, as you say, don't beat the markets every year. We do. And the reason really is I had great mentors that helped me to create what we call our VRA investing system. It's our proprietary market timing and sector selection system that tells us when to be in the market, when to be out, when to be aggressive, and when to take some profits, and take some money to cash. And that helps us with our sector selection. Again, market timing, those are real keys. And we also love doing individual stock research. So that's where you put our clients and subscribers into, again, ETFs, individual stocks. And we also love Bitcoin and gold, as you know, and silver. In 2003, I recommended gold at $350 an ounce, silver at $5. We recommended Bitcoin at $2,000 in 2017. And combined with those three, we're up over 4,000% in gains for our 40 times your money for our subscribers. So we do things a little differently. 5th and 6th generation native Texans, and we love what we do here in Texas.
Well, I'm a witness to all of it. I've been there for all of it. There's a lot of fear out there today, Kip. What should investors know about the stock market right now?
Yeah, you got to be in this market. That's what investors should know. Look, volatility is the price of admission. It just is. It comes with the territory. But these dips give us great buying opportunities. Look, we've been the most bullish market strategists in America for the last 4 years. We call this the innovation revolution meets the Trump economic miracle meets an absolute ocean of liquidity. Those are our big three. Again, Trump's economic miracle this year is really going to start paying its dues. We expect GDP growth to hit 5% this year. We expect the markets to, we think this bull market runs into the 2030s.
All right, everyone gets 2 weeks free automatically by going to VRAinsider.com. 2 weeks free. Judge for yourself. VRAinsider.com. Kip Herridge, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
Trump wants to make America the energy capital of the world, make America energy independent again. Here is a project that could help accomplish that, or certainly go a long way to helping accomplish it. I'm so proud to introduce you to a real America hero of the energy industry, Mark Bruner, founder and CEO of Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. Mark is a second-generation oil and gas legend whose companies have created more than $15 billion in shareholder value, including Ultra Petroleum. But Lost Soldier could be bigger than Ultra Petroleum, with what could be the largest gas discovery in the United States in 100 years. It's 40,000 acres. It took them 40 years to piece it together in Wyoming. Mark, welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Good to see you again, Wayne.
Tell us more about Lost Soldier. What have you got?
Well, I think we've got a really big gas field. I mean, in order to understand why it's just being done now, you got to understand the history. There was a uranium mine out here And whenever there was a meltdown by 3 Mile Island, they started reclamating this mine and shut it down. 3 years ago, I got a call that basically asked me if I would drill it because they finally got the release and the reclamation was over and they had permits to drill it. So we drilled it, and it's the biggest discovery that I've ever made. Okay. It's basically deep overpressured gas. Starting at around 13,000 feet, it's like a layer cake. It's just zone after zone of overpressure is what it is. So we're very excited about it. The other great thing is that it's surrounded by infrastructure, legacy fields that are essentially run out, and billions of dollars of infrastructure is there for us to utilize, and we don't have to build it. We're building a 5-mile line to hook into that infrastructure, and we believe we can produce up to 400 million a day within 36 months to fill that line, and then we're going to build a bigger line. That's the plan, and yeah, we couldn't be more excited.
Very
Wayne,
exciting.
what we have.
Hey, Mark, listen, I want to make sure people that contact you, if they're accredited investors and they want to hear more about the project, they want to get involved, they go to lostsoldier.com. Lostsoldier.com. Mark's got a whole team. Every one of them has 40 plus years of experience in the energy and oil business, and they will contact you, call you back, or email you back.
All right, Wayne Allyn. I'm just looking up what the market did today. I had no time to even look. It was pretty much flat. Nothing really happened at all today. It was actually didn't do much. Oh, I'm looking at the pre-market numbers. I see the pre-market numbers. Actually, the market was way up. Oh, okay. Actually, the market was up 370. The Dow Jones was up a lot, and even higher was the S&P, and even higher was the Nasdaq. So actually, a good day on Wall Street today, and that's something. A good day in crypto as well. Big day. Well, up almost $2,000 Bitcoin. It's actually a good day in the markets today. I did not know that. I never had time to even look today. VRA is the sponsor of this segment of the show. That's what made me look, right? Kip Herridge. I can't even hear his name without thinking of how did the market do today. And usually I look 20 times a day, but today I'd never had any time at all. It was just a crazy day. And there's just not enough time in the day. I need like 72 hours in a 24-hour day. But the market was up today. I'm sure my accounts were up, that means. And Kip is the magic man. He is just so good. He started his newsletter, VRA, back in 2003. So it's been around for 23 years. He only has a record, obviously, for the first 22 of those years. You can't tell what he's going to do this year yet. It's too early. But he's beaten the markets 19 out of 22 years, almost 90% of the time. Barron's reports the average Wall Street money manager loses to the markets 90% of the time. So what was I saying earlier in the show? Kip Herridge is kind of like that football game where you're at the 1 yard line and the other team intercepts and goes the other way. You were going to get 7, and instead they scored 7 against you. It's like a 14-point turnaround, right? 90% lose to the market. Kip wins almost 90% with his best bets against the market. He calls them 10 baggers. Over the last 3 years, up 38% per year. Not 38% over 3 years, 38% a year. He recommended gold at 350, and it's of course close to 5,000. He recommended Bitcoin at 2,000. It's in the 82,000 category now. Really quite a record. So go to VRAinsider.com before I even introduce you to Kip. VRAinsider.com, and you automatically get 2 weeks free because you are a fan of Wayne Allyn. That's a website that only goes to my fans. VRAinsider.com, 2 weeks free. And then you decide, and I believe you'll stay for life. VRAinsider.com. All right, Kip is with us. He has graced us with his presence, and we want to get an update from you, Kip, on the psyop of negativity featuring The Big Short. Tell us what that means.
Yeah, thanks, Wayne. Great to see you again. And by the way, 7 straight weeks the market's been up now, all-time highs again today. Wow. You know, it is, and that's why you had me. You don't need to keep track of it. That's why you got me. I also want to say, as we start this, congratulations. I know you guys haven't publicly announced all the details, but I know the details of your new show. It's going to be killer. You're the perfect host for this. I'm proud of you, my friend. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a great show. I want to talk more, but I don't know what you've announced. So I'll
The Big
do
Short.
that. Yeah, The Big Short. So Michael Burry, a lot of people know this guy's name, Michael Burry.
The movie.
The movie,
Right?
Big
There was
Short.
a movie about him.
That's
I watched
exactly
that movie,
right.
The Big Short.
Yeah, The Big Short, all about the 2008 housing crash, financial crisis, right? Well, this guy, that was his claim to fame. By the way, he started saying that the housing market was going to crash in 2005. So he had to wait for 3 years to get that call right, but he did get it right. I'm not going to take away from him. Made a lot of money, made himself very famous because of the movie. But the problem is he's been bearish every year since. And I tell this story tonight because right now he's saying, and again, people listen to him because the propaganda networks want you afraid. That's the psyop and negativity that's out there. We have to deal with this every day from both your followers, even our clients are still, overwhelmed by this feeling that we're going to have another crash. And people like Michael Burry are saying it's about to happen. .com.
He's one of many. One of many. I mean, when I pick up the Daily Mail, which used to be the UK Daily Mail, now it's one of the biggest sites in America. People love the Daily Mail because, look, your eyes never stay long on a positive headline.
Right.
They figured out that when you're negative, it makes everybody look and read. It catches the attention, makes you hysterical when they panic you with a negative headline. So as an example, Kip, today, I don't know if you saw it, I mentioned on this show earlier on foxnews.com. The headline was Vegas dying out of business ghost town. And I went to it, and I'm out every night in Vegas. It's jammed. You almost can't get a reservation. They weren't talking about Vegas. They were talking about Prim, Nevada, on the Nevada-California border, where truckers stop for gas. 4 casinos there that used to be busy in the early 2000s are all going out of business on July 4th. People used to stop to get gas. Truckers stopped. The rooms were like $10 a night, $20 a night. They were dumps. They were dives. And poor people who had no money would go there from little towns in California, Baker and around there. But no normal person on the way to Vegas stopped at these hotels. So the fact that they're going out of business has nothing to do with Vegas. They're a ghost town. Vegas isn't a ghost town. And they must have been listening to me, Kip, because Fox News changed the headline between this morning and 5 minutes ago to Nevada Casino Town is now a ghost town, not Las Vegas a ghost town. So they're always negative with their headlines. And that did make me look, right? I looked because of the headline. But they're always wrong.
Fear sells, no doubt about it. But I think it's deeper than this right now, and that's why we've called this for many years a psyop of negativity. Because since Trump came on the scene, when he's president, they're really going to harp on anything they can find, and that's what this is all about now. It's really about they want the markets to go down. They want oil to go to 150. They want the market. They want the Iran war to begin again. Right? This is what they want. The problem is so many people are still impacted by this propaganda. So it's a battle we fight every day. I just want to put out a couple of facts so people listening. I can promise you're not hearing what I'm about to tell you anywhere else. Q1 earnings are growing at 27%.
Wow.
27%. You got to go back a decade. Now, this happened in 2021, but that was also after the pandemic, right? So there was a lot of pent-up demand, a lot of easy money in the system. But you have to go back to 2017 to find a quarter that's done better than this first quarter's doing.
And Trump was president in 2017, by the way.
That's right. That's right. And also, these are big facts, I think. Again, Michael Burry made his claim to fame on the housing crash. So many people still think that's going to happen. Listen, it's a physical, almost mathematical impossibility that can happen again. And here's why. Homeowners, 40% of homeowners have no mortgage. They paid their homes off. That's an all-time high. Average home equity is 71%. That's an all-time high. There's $37 trillion sitting in home equity. That's an all-time high. The housing market has literally never been stronger, but people are scared to death that it's going to happen again. And it's keeping people out of the markets. And it drives me, both my sons and my wife, we're all in the business together, as you know. It drives us crazy because we have to fight these battles all day long from people that think they're going to keep their money in a money market, make 3% while inflation takes all of that. And they're just going to keep losing. They'll never have a funded retirement. So, I'm a little frustrated. Because here we are, we predicted this move 4 years ago. We said this is going to be a generational bull market. Wrote a book, predicted it. Everything in the books come true. All of our mega trends are happening, but we don't get the press, right? The negativity gets the press, and
you
so
get it from me.
People should.
You get it from me, Kip.
Thank God for you. If it weren't for you,
and I guess Charles Payne likes you too on Fox Business.
Charles Payne
so
does
you get
too.
it from a few places. But you know what drives me crazy? You get driven crazy by the fact there's so much negativity and cynicism, and people therefore don't want to get in the market when in fact they're missing an opportunity to make so much money. And I get crazy because for every 100 stock investors, there's probably only one that buys gold. You know, and I'm a gold bug, and I love gold. And if everybody that bought stocks bought gold, gold would go to like 100,000. But nobody ever knows about gold. They didn't know about it 20 years ago. They didn't know about it 10 years ago. And the average person still has never bought gold. And meanwhile, gold has been on the biggest bull run in the history of gold. When has it ever gone from like 1,800 to 5,600 like it was at a month and a half ago, 2 months ago? It's the greatest run in history, and still nobody I know owns gold besides me. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, the average portfolio has less than 2% exposure to gold. That's incredibly low. The average stock investor is like 39%. So you're exactly right. As you know, we recommended gold at $350 in 2003. Recommended silver at $5 now. It's 2003. That's about when you and I met. Matter of fact, it's exactly when you and I met. So we've been gold bugs together. And look, this bull market in gold, silver, and I'll go ahead and put in Bitcoin in it too, because these are all interest rate sensitive names. And as rates go down, and that is what's going to happen again. We're in the big minority on this, big contrarian call. Rates are going lower, folks. The new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, is going to make sure it's going to happen along with Scott Bessent and Donald Trump. That is going to happen. Make no doubt about it. Have no doubt about it. And that gold, because of demand, because of lower rates, and just because it's a flight to safety trade that exists nowhere else. This is that bull market for gold. We think gold's going to 15,000 an ounce by 2030. Silver's going to go to 300 an ounce by 2030. And the real money is going to be made in that group is going to be made in the gold miners.
Mining.
Yes, and right now we have two gold miners we're in right now. Between the two, we're up almost 1,000%. We're up well over 1,000% in both gold.
Wayne says thank you. Wayne says thank you very much. Let me interrupt you because I got to say something. Not only does almost no one I know own gold, but the few people I know who own gold are over the age of 50.
Yeah.
Nobody I know who's under the age of 50 owns gold, and nobody I know who's over the age of 50 owns Bitcoin but me now because of you. Everyone I speak to is 50 and 60 and 70. They're like, oh, that Bitcoin's a scam. That Bitcoin's a scam.
Right.
Oh, I wouldn't buy that. It's going to zero. We're going to a break. When we get back, I'm keeping Kip on. I want you to respond to all the old codgers out there, those over the age of 50, call them old codgers, who think that Bitcoin is no good. They can only buy stocks or only gold, and they know nothing about Bitcoin, and they never want to know about Bitcoin. They say it's a scam. Young people own it. Nobody old owns it. What's going to happen to Bitcoin? When we get back with Kip Herriage, my personal financial advisor for 23 years. Kip Herriage, economic expert, CEO of VRAinsider.com, VRAinsider.com, 2 weeks free automatically because you're a fan of Wayne Root. Go there. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Wayne Root from my great friends John and Chelsea Jubilee of Energized Health. Energized Health changed my life. I lost 25 pounds of fat, including dangerous inner body visceral fat, and gained about 10 pounds of muscle. Hi, I'm Wayne Root from Vertical Research Advisory, VRA. Kip Herriage's one-of-a-kind global investment and economic newsletter. Listen up! Trump is in charge. The glory days are here.
Growth rates are only going to grow from here.
This is your 4-year window to make a fortune and set up your retirement for the rest of your life. Kip wins whether the markets are up or down, whether the economy is up or down.
We set our folks up for long-term success.
For 21 years, Kip's been a friend, as well as my personal financial advisor. During that time, he's beaten the markets 86% of the time, while the average Wall Street money manager loses the market 90% of the time. Now Kip is predicting a new golden age for the economy. Let Kip prove it to you for free. Kip's offering his daily VRA investment letter completely free for 2 weeks. Free for 2 weeks. Try it for 2 weeks. I know you'll stay for life. Join now at VRAinsider.com.
All right, one of my favorite guests ever, Allyn is with us, an advocate for GreatPatriotStore.com. He's been a customer for 36 years, almost 4 decades. My wife and I, Cindy, do much of our monthly shopping now at GreatPatriotStore.com. It's an alternative to wokeness. It's run by pro-American conservatives. USA Today voted it one of the best stores in America in 2025. And with all these communists taking over, Allyn Pariser, New York, Seattle, Chicago, promising cheap government groceries or free, you need to buy American. Tell us why.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of our competitors have completely lost it. They've gone totally woke over the years, but our founding axiom is really very simple. For 41 years, we've been focused on manufacturing exceptional products at reasonable prices, made by Americans, here in America, for Americans. And we've expanded. We have manufacturing plants across the United States, distribution plants across the United States. And not only can Americans get the best quality, the best price from Great Patriot Store, in most cases, we can deliver to your front door even faster than Amazon.
So prices are high everywhere. Procter & Gamble and Amazon are considering price increases. How do the prices at Great Patriot Store compare to national brands?
Well, we've got hundreds of products, Wayne, but if you just take a look at one like our laundry detergent, we make it, it's patented, and it's literally almost fractions, almost half the price of our competitors, and you get 96 loads of wash. It's the best value. There's no toxic chemicals in any of our products whatsoever. And if you're looking to lose some of those holiday pounds, you don't need the shots with the LPG-1 drugs. We have something called berberine. Nature's Ozempic is what people are calling it. It's legit, it works, and we've got it at a better price than any of our competitors.
All right, we've got just seconds to go, so be quick. I love your beef. I eat your sirloin and your New York steak all the time. It's kind of breakfast and lunch for me all the time. Why is your beef superior?
Made in America, never, ever any hormones, ever any antibiotics, no mRNA. It's all prime. It's the best quality that you can find at the best price, free shipping, and it's the best beef on the planet.
All right, to get your free gift, that's right, a free gift, purchase the beef and other great American products. You got to be a member. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com, fill out the form. One of their conservative team members will contact you right away. GreatPatriotStore.com. Happy New Year. Thank you, Allyn.
Thank you, Wayne. God bless.
All right, Wayne Allyn Root. The Root is on fire. Welcome to the Mainstream Media. No mainstream media here, only Mainstream Media. Mainstream Media means raw truth, and I don't care who I offend. If it's the truth, it's the truth. Kind of like Trump, you know, it's a version of Trump. You know, who cares if I offend somebody? If it's the truth, it's the truth. That's what I do here. Mainstream Media. I'm the biggest MAGA mouth in the world. Proud of it. The website, by the way, rootforamerica.com, my command central, all my TV shows, all my radio shows, all my podcasts, all my columns, everything is there. Go there every day, rootforamerica.com. You can email me anytime. Love to hear from you, wayneroot@gmail.com. Kip Herridge is with us, economic expert on this show for, I guess I've had the show for 11 years. He's been the economic expert for 11 years. You don't ever replace someone when they're batting 1,000. The guy's batting 1,000. He's very good. As good as they get. I've never seen a guy. Crystal ball. Nostradamus of Wall Street. He's the CEO of Vertical Research Advisory. Patar says magician. David Copperfield. VRAinsider.com. VRAinsider.com. So let's get back to my comment here. As much as young people know nothing about gold, and a few of my friends who are 50 and 60 and 70, very few, but a few have gold, no one over the age of 50 believes in Bitcoin, right? None of my friends, anyway. The people I speak to, they're like, bah, humbug. Even the ones who own gold and have made a fortune in gold won't buy $1 of Bitcoin. They're just, you know, can't teach an old dog new tricks, that famous saying. They just don't believe that that's real. They think it's like a fake made-up money. What do you say to those people, Kip?
It's interesting how things have changed here because until this big bull market started in gold, gold had done nothing for years while Bitcoin was going through the roof, right? So all the youngsters that love Bitcoin were just really taking a dump on us every day. They call it stupid. What are you still holding gold for? You should have Bitcoin. And I'm like, you know what? It's going to come back around. We own both, as you know. So there's a reason to own both in the portfolio. But for the opposite side of that, now, by the way, the Bitcoiners have got a little quieter because gold has had such a magical run here. But what I would say to people that are a little bit older that haven't accepted Bitcoin yet is you have to admit when you're wrong. I mean, that's just the way it is. Bitcoin is now fully accepted institutionally. It's completely decentralized. It means no company, no government controls it, no single person controls it. It is completely decentralized. And what makes it interesting and much more attractive than the dollar, for sure, is that it has a mining cap of 21 million coins. So we're already at 20 million coins have already been mined. There's only 1 million left to mine, and then there's no more coins. So this is the best supply-demand story of all time. From that point of view, it is absolutely better than gold. But again, there's a reason to own both. So again, we bought, as you said earlier, we first bought the Bitcoin at 2,000, recommended it at 2,000. We made over 2,200% in Bitcoin in 7 years, and we've traded it twice. We're back long again now. We think this move is going to take Bitcoin to all-time highs by the end of this year. But we're really focused now on the longer run. I doubt we'll sell it again until it gets to 1 million. I think this next move is going to be that move that takes it to 1 million by about 2032. So there's an extraordinary amount of money to be made in this investment. And I think every investor now, because you can buy ETFs now. Yeah, you don't have to go set up an account at Coinbase or another crypto broker. You can just buy an ETF that invests in gold. That's what most people do. So I think that it deserves a place in everyone's portfolio, but so does gold too, right?
And you said it's going to go to all-time highs. Forget about 1 million. The all-time high at this point was last year when Trump was just elected, or maybe it was 2 years ago when Trump was elected in November of 2025, and then into November 2024 and into early 2025. Right. Bitcoin flew. I mean, just dramatically skyrocketed. And I think the high was like 126, something like that.
That's right. That's exactly right.
All right, so you think it's going to go past 126 this year? People thought you were crazy in the year 2024. You were on the show saying Bitcoin's going to go over 100,000, and it did. People thought you were nuts. I think at the time you came on my show, it was 52,000. You said it was going to 100. People thought you were absolutely stark raving mad, and Kip was right. It went to over 100. So listen to the man. Listen to him. What are your favorite themes and sectors right now? What are you advising your clients?
Again, this is a generational bull market. Understand this. This is going to continue into the 2030s. A lot of people think, "Oh my God, I missed it." We're hot IPOs are coming. All that. Listen, this is the market most similar to the .com bull market, which was a 5-year melt up, where Nasdaq went up 575%. So far in this bull market, which started in 2022, Nasdaq is only up 140%. So just from that perspective, it's got to triple from here just to match .com. But this is a much deeper, broader, stronger market than .com. This is not just a bunch of companies that call themselves .com and can send an email for you, whatever. These are companies that are worth over $1 trillion that have almost no debt and are just loaded with cash. And now we have AI. So the AI boom is really what's taking hold here. Again, listen to this. During the .com boom, over a 2-year period, 99, 2000, there were 194 companies went public. Their prices doubled on the first day, right? 194 over 2 years. That's how hot that was. We just had our first one today, and this one's going to be bigger than that bull market. So understand how significant this bull market is going to be, the amount of wealth that's going to be created. This is a bull market that if you want to fund your retirement, put your kids through college, or just live a better life, you have to be in stocks here. This is just the beginning of the move.
VRAinsider.com. The music's on. The night is over. VRAinsider.com. It goes fast when you're having fun, Kip. VRAinsider.com. Thank you, Kip Herriage. God bless.
Thank you, Wade.
We'll see you tomorrow night. God bless everyone. Have a great night. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn Root, CEO, conservative TV and radio host, and best-selling author. I believe in America and American exceptionalism. America is now focused on energy independence. Enter Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. It took 40 years, to piece together this 40,000-acre giant gas discovery. The first 4,000 feet drilled so far are estimated to contain up to 6 trillion cubic feet of gas, making it one of the largest natural gas discoveries in the Rocky Mountain region in the last 30 years. This is how we power the AI future of America, with clean natural gas. Headed by oil and gas legend Mark Bruner, whose previous public companies, Pinnacle Energy and Ultra Petroleum, delivered spectacular returns for investors. At its peak, a $10,000 investment in Ultra Petroleum turned into over $13 million. To learn more about this Lost Soldier oil and gas opportunity, go to lostsoldier.com. Fill out the contact form. That's lostsoldier.com.